Colorado families, this week on Community Chat, Hagen Nares truck wreck and brain injury lawyers is interviewing attorney Adrienne Fischer, owner of Basecamp Legal. Adrienne has her hand in the success of a number of local startups and businesses in Colorado. She loves working with small business owners to set themselves up for success. We are here to learn more about her journey to starting Basecamp Legal, what's it like to be a client of Adrienne's at Basecamp Legal, and she's going to give a training tidbit on if you're looking to start your own business, what are those basic fundamental things that we need to do to protect intellectual property, trademarks, stuff of that nature that all of us need to do, even if we're starting a small company out of our houses. So she's here to give some great advice. We're so happy to have her. Welcome, Adrienne.
Thanks for having me, Caitlin. Yeah, it's wonderful to be here.
Well, it's so great to have you because I have had a number of my own clients and just a lot of people in the community asking for business attorneys, but they don't know much about what you do, what the scope of work you do. So we want to get into that. But first, I love hearing everyone's journey. How did you even get to opening Basecamp Legal? Because what's great is you're a business attorney and you have a successful business. That's what most clients are actually looking for. They just think common sense. How has she started it? What is she doing? What is she doing to protect herself, the fundamentals of her own business? And so talk to us about the journey. How did you even get here to starting a local company that's doing fantastic work for our communities?
Sure. So my journey is kind of interesting. I actually came to Colorado from Los Angeles, and I was a burnt out litigator. I was in the courtroom doing both plaintiff and defense work for business and employment law. And I really found that it was not my favorite thing. And so when I moved to Colorado, I really took the time to reflect and pause and decided that the thing I actually liked doing was keeping my clients out of the courtroom. It's the counseling, it's the proactivity of getting the right contracts in place, it's making sure they're following the rules when bringing on employees. And so after that pause, I was fortunate enough to meet a woman who just looked at me, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I keep trying to interview with law firms, and and she's like, why don't you just start your own firm? And I was like, I've been selling things. My mom was a realtor. I used to sell my services to put stamps on the outgoing postcards to clients. So I'd rent myself out and I'd answer phones for realtors and things like that. So I'd been selling services of my own since I was like 6. So it just made sense that I would start a business. And so I kind of find myself in this interesting position. I started Basecamp in 2016. So we've been around for almost 7 years now. And I have built a business along with some of my clients. That's what we help them do. We help them get the legal side covered.
And I think that's great. I think a lot of these local companies here in Colorado are going to identify with you as a natural entrepreneur. One of those things is our local businesses here in Denver, in Colorado, in general, are changing. That's how our firm started. We're principally a virtual law firm to meet our clients where they're at. For us, most of our clients are catastrophically injured, so it's hard for them to come to an actual office. And for you, a lot of them are startups. They're maybe working out of coffee shops or working out of their house. They're growing. What is it like to be your client? How are you different in adapting to the growing climate in Colorado of more tech startups, more entrepreneurs? And what sets you apart from other, traditional business law firms?
So I would say we're different in several ways, but the main reason from the feedback that we've gotten is we are approachable. I think a lot of people feel that they can't come to an attorney until they're in trouble, right? That's not the tone that our firm wants to set. We have conversations with our clients leading up to, I don't always pick up the call and put the timer on. I mean, I want my clients to come to me and feel comfortable having that conversation so we can mitigate the risk and they're not going to end up having to pay a litigator to sort it out later. And so it's not 100% of the time, but I find that having those open conversations with our clients and them feeling comfortable enough to share what's going on really sets us apart. I mean, they really become part of our ecosystem. A lot of them know each other because maybe somebody needs, this type of startup and we can connect them with somebody else. So we're really trying to foster like an ecosystem as well as be that approachable attorney. We want our clients to come to us proactively, which is so hard because like you go to a doctor more reactively. I'm coughing, I'm sneezing. You don't go when you're healthy. But if you go to like most functional doctors in the area, right, they'll get you on vitamins to keep you healthy, to stop the sickness. So we kind of think of ourselves more like that. Like we're trying to prevent the illness on the onset.
And I think that's a good segue into kind of your training tidbit, which I've learned a lot from you having started my own law firm in the sense of this. It's so easy to start a startup in Colorado. We get our LLC, we get kind of those basic formations going on, and then we think we're good. But that's that very point that you're talking about, that's when you're healthiest. That's before you're growing. That's before there's issues. And that may be just the perfect time that you create that structure. And so if I'm a brand new startup, brand new business in Colorado, what are some of those things that I should be thinking about in making sure that I'm setting up my business for success years to come?
So I know we talked about sharing one tidbit, but I'm going to share a couple. So we see a lot of people come to us after they filed that $50, it was a dollar for a while, LLC with the Secretary of State. Particularly if you have a partner in your business, there needs to be an operating agreement. Most people skip that step. They're like, we filed with the Secretary of State, we've got a business. No, you don't. You do, but it's not, that's just one step. That's probably one of the main places we see because it's like you're getting married when you have a business partner. The second issue that we see very commonly, and we help startups from formation to exit. So we don't do criminal law, we don't do wills, we don't do trust, we don't do divorce. We only do business. And so what's nice about that is we go from formation to exit. If you want to sell your business, if you want somebody to, you want to buy a business, you want to trademark your business, you want contracts for your business, we can help. And so we've seen a lot in our 7 years, and that the the operating agreements for partners, and then not clearing your name. Most people pick a name and they're like, I've got the domain name, I'm good. No. Just because you have a domain name doesn't mean that you're set. It could be that there's somebody else out there who has a similar sounding name who, we've had people get cease and desist letters and they're like, I had no idea this other person existed. And so I encourage all of my clients before they start, if they're not going to do anything else, free search on Colorado Secretary of State, take that one step further, uspto.gov, do a basic search. It's not the search that we're going to do for you if you hire us to trademark. We go 10 times deeper, but at least you'll get an idea of what's out there. So uspto.gov, you can search test records and that'll give you an idea. Clear the name because it's very expensive to rebrand later.
That's great advice. And it's not only the name, you can help, but if you choose to you think you came up with this great tagline or description of yourself, all those things also probably need to get trademarked along the way. So it's great that as you're coming up with new creative ideas related to your business, it's really important to check back in with Adrienne to make sure that we're getting all those secured. So that's fantastic. And so, Adrienne, I try to get as much advice as I can as CEO of my business from you. And you're so willing to share so much information. I know there's a lot of business owners in the community that need help, don't even know where to start. How can they reach out to you just to pick your brain about what are those necessary steps, whether they're a startup or whether they're 5 years in? What are those necessary steps to get back on track? So how can they contact with you?
Yeah, so easiest way to do that is through our website, basecamplegal.com. We have a contact page. You can book a free 15-minute consult. We don't give legal advice during that consult, but we kind of see if we're a good fit to work with you. If you're looking for straight up marginal legal advice, we have a couple paid consults that you can book on there as well. And I will say that, we're very active on LinkedIn. Posting. If you follow me, I post some thought leadership posts and just things I'm seeing. So just my name under Adrienne Fischer on LinkedIn as well.
That's great, because a lot of the advice that I actually get from you is exactly that. It's webinars that you've put on or free content that you're putting on, which is fantastic. So in these show notes, I will put all of your contact information so that people can check that out as well. So I really appreciate you, Adrienne. I thank you so much for everything that you're doing for small businesses, me included, in Colorado. And I appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you so much.
All right, bye.
Bye.